In this video help, I'm going to be covering a new report that was added and a new feature. This is the Product Services Ad Portal, and in the process of doing the videos for this application, I decided to add a new report. Let's cover a little bit though and review. When you create a product or service, you add it in this portal. This is like the inventory system if you look at it in that vein. There's a product or service, there's a product pet type that it's used with. So for example, if I was doing something with a dog and I wanted to do something like trim or work on their ears or whatever, I could have any kind of a thing in there. In this particular case, this is a wash and trim large dog, long hair. So I'm actually doing a trim, wash and trim. Now in the process of doing the wash and trim, I may use some materials, but what I really want to show you here is that you can also create a different kind of a record where you put in a purchase material item. In this particular case, I'm going to assume that I only have a couple of records in here, so I'm going to have to ad lib a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using purchase materials for whatever the product is that we're using as a service up here. And let's say, for example, I think I actually have one in here for animal hair and stuff like that. I'm going to go over to the report that is found by using this materials report. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to see I have a dog shampoo that was actual product that was used as a material. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say show that record. That record is now the current one in selection. I'm going to go back to my record over here, and that should be the record we're reviewing. In this particular case, it didn't show it, so I'm going to go down here, and I could do a find. I could just do a search for shampoo. And then go ahead and perform the find. And the record I come up with is the dog shampoo, 1 quart, all dogs. And in this record here, you can see that I made one purchase. This must have been an initial purchase because on the service billing, there was never a billing for that particular thing as far as the item itself. Where would that be used? If somebody came in and said they wanted to buy to your shop and wanted to buy a bottle of that shampoo, you can always create an invoice, put the shampoo in, and sell it as an individual material item. Where the other was a service, this is a product that you're selling. So in this case, what I would do is I would say, okay, I need to order products for this particular thing, which is shampoo. I can create a record in here by using the drop down and adding that particular item in there, which is the dog shampoo. And you can see over here that that's the actual cost that we're using right now for the thing. And this comes from this field right here, standard cost. Now in this case, we ordered 12 of them, 12 times 12 of these items at the cost of $12.59 is $151.08. Now, what happens every time you want to order a new batch of this item? You're going to do something based on a trend analysis. What is that? Well, a trend analysis is when you look at your usage for assets that are in your inventory over a period of time, you're going to want to know if you're going to need them at any particular time. So for example, if I use one bottle a week, in 12 weeks I'm going to run out of this. Or maybe 1 week I can use 12 bottles. So the idea here is to using trend, you want to keep a constant flow depending on how fast the vendor gets them to you. You may want to have a month's supply. So in this case, if you use 12 a week, you might want to buy at least a month's worth. So these are the kind of things you're looking for trend analysis. What the report does for you at the same time is if you go over to the report and you're looking where you have the shampoo in here on the report, and say for example now we've been in business for a while and the last time we ordered was September 17th in 2013, and these are bogus dates I just threw in there. It's actually 2016. But what I would want to do is I'd want to have the product or service, the vendor I purchased it at, and the description of the item. And this comes from the record that we just added. In this case, we got a quantity of 12, received the 12 because we updated this by coming back to the report and then modifying this record to show that we actually received the 12 items. Then what date did we receive the order, actually make the order, and then what date did we actually receive them? This again is trend analysis. If you're looking at it took roughly a couple of days to receive them, that makes a lot of sense. But what happens if this thing was October and you needed a month's supply? Well, that's not going to work if it takes until October to get them. So you're going to have to order them a little bit more earnestly to get them in, or find a vendor that can deliver a lot quicker at a reasonable price. So that's what you'd want to do in here. By looking at the report, you can take a look at your situation as far as how many you have left on the shelf. And the nice thing about having an iPhone or iPad is you can walk around your store and do an inventory based on what's there using this report for materials that you need to keep in your inventory. So you can see that if you ordered 12 and you look on your shelf and you got 3 left, you better start ordering those items. So that's the kind of things you're going to be doing with this report. Let's look at the report itself. In this particular case, we don't have multiple items listed here. And what had happened, if you had ordered 12 on one order and then another 12, then you'd have 24 in here, and then the quantity would be over $300 as far as the items are concerned, just over 300. So you could run the thing. It'll subsum up here for the individual order. It'll show the total quantity of ordered for this thing on its history or whatever records that you do for the range of where you want to look, and then the sum for all the materials for that period. And you would do that by coming over and doing a search and then going ahead and selecting the item. In this particular case, it's the 1 quart, and then go ahead and perform the find. And of course, then that record comes up. You have 1 record and 1 in omitted from the records. And then there's your summary and your report. Now, if you had ordered this several times, then you'd have the orders for the periods of time that they were in here. Well, notice something. We don't see the header in here. Well, this is what you do. You run over and say, run the report, and then it returns the header. It gives you the product service, the order dates, and if they're broken across different dates, then it'll have a new date for each time that you reordered it. Then it would sub-summarize for each record, then sum the record itself for quantity and total, and then a grand summary at the bottom for all the records. So this is the way that this report works, and you can see, maybe you can see that how it can be used. If you don't see all the ways that this could possibly be used and you have a question about it, just contact us and we'll make sure that you have a better understanding of how to use this report. Thank you.